Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Bible class, our Wednesday night Bible class. I hope everyone is doing all right this beautiful Wednesday evening. It's a little warm out here, but we here. It's warm, but we here. God has allowed us to see another Wednesday evening. So come on in, everyone. We ain't kind of got away from it because of some things happen, holiday and other things come about. But we're gonna try to finish it up. And hopefully, we can finish it. One time, we had technical difficulties. So we're gonna try to get through this. Good evening to my beautiful wife, our first lady. God bless you this evening. Good evening, Bishop Granberry. I'm doing fine, my brother. I hope you're doing fine too. My stuff trying to go in and out. Here it is today. Good evening, cousin Shirley. God bless you. My sister, glad to see you with us this evening. So we're gonna try to finish it up again. I guess this subject we was talking about depression, and he don't want us to get through this depression thing. Wow, that's just the enemy. All right, my brother, I love you too. All right, yeah, we trying this depression thing, so you still not able to see anything. Yeah, Peggy said it's completely black. I don't know what's going on. It's showing on my end, but it's black on your end, so I don't know what's going on. So I don't know what's going on with the camera and every lower my camera a little bit and hopefully we can come in. Good evening, Deacon Wallace. God bless you, my brother. Glad doing all that walking. Maybe I can switch to my iPad. Cousin Shirley says she see me just fine. So I'm gonna try to switch to my iPad and maybe my iPad camera will come through. All right, we'll see if. No, she says she hear me, but she can't see me. Yeah. Good evening, not Kennedy. God bless you, my sister. All right. Good evening to my cousin Sharon. God bless you, Sharon. So I'm gonna bring in my um, iPad camera. Maybe we can get through on that camera. See what'll happen with that camera. I bring it in. All right. You can see me. Let me see. Try removing one of these. Oh, that's the iPad. All right. Now you see me now?
Yes,
Okay then.
fully.
Okay. All right. Hopefully y'all can see me and hear me now. Okay. Are y'all able to hear me? The enemy is messing with us, but we're gonna get through this. All right, so we're gonna try to get through this. Good evening, Sister Monica Chapman. God bless you, my sister. Glad to have you with us this evening. All right, hey Shay, that's one of our members from Love First Baptist. She says she can see and hear. So thank you, Shay. God bless you and your husband this evening. All right, thank you, Not. So we're gonna try to get through this. We ain't gonna hold you long. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about ways to defeat depression. And I think we had covered like 5 of the different ways. You might have more than 5, you might have less, but these are the different ways that I come up with to defeat depression because so many people are dealing with depression in our world. Stress, worry, losing jobs, sicknesses and diseases, people letting them down, marital problems and other things, family issues, school issues. These things cause a lot of people to go into depression. But we can defeat it, y'all. And so we talked about you need to first of all know who God is. Know who God is. As Isaiah 55:9 says, know who God is. And Cousin Shirley said that's an enemy that she's dealing with right now. Amen. A lot of people are dealing with that enemy. We might be all right today, and tomorrow we might find ourselves dealing with that enemy. He can slip in. I have to deal with him ever so often, but we can defeat him. So know who God is, as Isaiah said, that God's ways and thoughts are higher than our ways and thoughts. He ain't got to move when we say move. Over there in Psalms 50:12, he talked about if he was hungry, he wouldn't tell us. So God don't need us. Know that God moves in his own time. He already know what's going on in our lives, so he ain't got to jump up like he's excited and didn't know what was going on. So we need to know that God already knows what's going on in our lives. And he don't move when we want him to move. He moves in his own time. Then we talked about know that God forsakes no one. You may feel like you're forsaken sometimes, as David felt in Psalms 22. He said, the Lord has forsaken me. He don't hear me. But then you keep reading down towards the 20th, 21st verses of that chapter. David began to come around and realize that God heard him all the time. And so is it with so many of us in our lives. We feel like God don't hear us, but he hear you all the time. He's there all the time. He never forsakes us. As he said in Matthew 28, that he would be with us always, even to the end of the world. So God ain't forsaking us. God ain't leaving us all alone. He's there all the time. So know that God never forsakes you. But the enemy gonna try to make you think that God ain't moving right now, so he's forsaken me. He don't care nothing about me. But no, God don't forsake none of us. So we need to know that he forsakes no one. So hang on in there. Don't let your situation get you down. And then we talked about don't turn from God. When God don't move when you want him to move, when you think he done forsaken you, don't you turn from God. He's still there. He's still here all the time. He never forsakes us. So hold your head up, as Romans 8:27 says to us. He searches the heart and the mind and the spirit, and he makes intercession for us. So don't you know, if you turn from God, you turning from your intercessor. You turning from the one who put limitations on the enemy. Without God, the devil got free reign over our lives. But long as you got Jesus Christ as your intercessor, he limits what the devil can do to you. The devil can do some things, as we say, 2 Corinthians 4:8 says, we find ourselves troubled on every side, yet not distressed, because our intercessor is there. We find ourselves perplexed, but not in despair, because Christ is there. We are persecuted, but not forsaken, because Christ is there. We find ourselves cast down sometimes, but we not destroyed, because our intercessor, Christ, is there. So don't turn from God. Don't turn from the intercessor on our part. Then we talked about number 4, don't let things happening around you control you. We get to looking at people losing their job because of this economy, firing people for no reason at all. We get nervous. Not giving people their retirement, their Social Security, we get nervous. Food prices and everything going up, we get nervous. But And the Bible said that because of so much iniquity in our world, that the love of many will wax cold. But no, you hang on in there. Don't let what's happening in the world control you. The world doesn't control God's blessing. What God has for you, it is for you. But there have been many mighty men, like David in Psalm 73:2-3, said his feet almost slipped. His feet almost slipped looking at the world, looking at evil people prospering. And here I'm trying to serve God and look like I'm having a rough time. But no, we need to stop focusing on the world and letting the things that's happening in the world control us. What God has for you, it is for you. Promotion comes from God, and the devil can't stop that. So don't focus on the world and lose sight of yourself, of the authority that God has of it all. Number 5, we said, know your contract. Know your contract. That in this world, 2 Timothy 3:12 said, all who live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. Job 14:1 said that man that's born a woman is a few days and full of trouble. That's in the contract, y'all. We're going to find ourselves filled with all kind of trouble. But notice we have a high priest, which is Jesus Christ, that had to go through all the troubles that we go through, that had to go through the depression, the anxiety, the stress, the worry, the things we go through. He was touched with all of those infirmities, but he didn't allow them to tempt him to turn from God. He never sinned. So that's in the contract, but you hold on. Don't allow those things to turn you from God. Know this, that 2 Corinthians 4:18 said, anyway, the things of this world are just temporary, but the things that are not seen are eternal. So don't you worry about these temporary struggles, trials, and tribulation that we go through. They just temporary. But our God is eternal. And he has said in 1 Corinthians 10 and 13 that there is no temptation taking you but such as common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will also make a way, make will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. So God is already gonna make a way for whatever temptation you find yourself coming up against. He gonna make a way. Whatever trial and tribulation you find yourself dealing with, he gonna make a way. We got to go through these things. It's a part of the contract. But no, he's already made a way for everything that you come up against. So don't you let the devil try to trick you into thinking this is the end. It ain't gonna never get no better. I just need to just give up. No, Don't let the enemy trick you into giving up on life. Hang on in there. This is part of the contract, but also the contract says that God gonna make a way. So hang on in there. Number 6, remember the victories in your life. Over there in 1 Samuel 17, we talked about it a little bit of today, how David went out on the battlefield against Goliath, and he said to King Saul that the same God that delivered the lion and the bear, he's going to deliver this uncircumcised Philistine to my hand. So we got to remember the victories in our lives, that the same God that brought me through that hospital stay, the same God that brought me through that job situation, the same God that bringing us through the past is here to bring us through the future. So remember your victory. God ain't went nowhere, but that old enemy gonna try to make you think that God that has forsaken you. No, he keeps his promises that he said he would do for us. So remember your victory. Remember what he did for your mama and your daddy. Remember what he did for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's still doing it for us today. So remember your victory. Waking up each morning is a victory because he said brand new mercies are renewed every morning, y'all. That's a victory. So remember the victories in your life to defeat this depression. Number 7, know that you are royalty. 1 Peter 2 and 9 say you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who had called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. You are royalty. You were chosen by God to give him the glory. So don't you be worrying about what that old enemy say. That old enemy is jealous and envious of you, knowing that you are somebody, and he can't stand the fact that you are royalty and he ain't nobody. But don't you worry about that. When the enemy comes against you, that just proof that you on God's side. That just proof that he ain't got you. You are royalty. And as Psalms 139:14 said, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works. That's God made us fearfully and wonderfully made. We are royalty. So as you go through life, remember, you are somebody. No matter how dark it gets, you are somebody. No matter who's the president, who's the Supreme Court, that don't change the fact that you are royalty. God is on your side and he got you. You were fearfully and wonderfully made to give God the glory. And he ain't gonna let that enemy stop you from giving God the glory. What God has for you, it is for you. And then finally, number 8, speak life. Proverbs 18:21 said, life and death are in the power of the tongue. Speak life. Matthew 12:37 said, by your words you are justified, and by your words you are condemned. So you just going around here talking about, I'll never be this, I'll never be that. You're condemning yourself to that. And me and Peggy found ourselves caught up in that at one point in our lives, in our early part of our marriage. We was living in an apartment, and we saw these big houses. And me and Peggy said, only doctors and nurses live there. We'll never live in one of those houses. We wasn't speaking life over ourselves. We was condemning ourselves to something lesser. Because I'm not a doctor, I'm lesser. Because I ain't got the money that the rich have, I'm lesser. No, God showed us. He turned around and gave us a bigger house than the house we were looking at. Letting us know, I am your exceeding great reward. Not your money, not your education. So we are royalty. Speak life. The God we serve, the earth and the fullness thereof belongs to him. The cattle on 1,000 hills belong to him. It's all God's. And the Bible said it is his good pleasure to give us the kingdom. He wants us to prosper. As John said, I would you prosper even as your soul prosper and be in good health. He wants us to prosper, y'all. So stop speaking down on yourself. Speaking down on your children. You like your old dad and you'll never be nothing. Stop speaking death over your children, over yourself, over our people. We are somebody. We are royalty, fearfully and wonderfully made. And God got us in everything that we go through in life. He already made a way for us. He wants us to give him the glory as we come out of these trials and tribulations, as we come out of depression, as we come out of anxiety, as we come out of cancer and other sickness and disease. He wants us to give him the glory. So speak life. Don't be going around and say, oh man, this is it. No, you speak life. I remember a story in the Bible about 4 leper men in the Old Testament. The Israelites had kicked them out because they had leprosy. They kicked them out. You better be careful who you kick out, y'all. They had kicked them out, and they was outside of the city, and they looked up and seen the Syrians, and they said, let's go into the camp of the Syrians. Amen, cousin Shirley. Don't speak down. Always speak life. Always. But they was looking here at the camp of the Syrians, and they said, we already been kicked out and everything. If we stay out here, we gonna die. If we go in there and they kill us, what difference is it gonna make? We ain't gonna just sit here and do nothing. So they decided to go into the camp of the Syrians. They decided not to give themselves a death sentence. And when they went into the camp of the Syrians had fled. God had spooked them. They went in and found all kind of silver and gold, all kind of food and everything. Do you know during this time, Israel was in a famine? And so these 4 men say, let's go back and tell Israel. And somebody said, no. They done kicked us out. But then they said, no, don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. They went back to the folks that had kicked them out and told them about the food and everything. And they went out there and was able to find plenty of food for the Israelites. They was able to come out of the famine because they found so much food, clothes, silver, and gold. All because of 4 men that didn't give themselves a death sentence, that kept on anyhow, that been become selfish and bitter because of what others had did to them. Because of their sickness, they didn't become bitter. So continue to speak life. Continue to speak love. Continue to do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. Don't go into a bad state because others treat you bad, kick you out. No, don't treat them like they treat you. We've grown up in a country where those of the racist persuasion, the other color, did us wrong. But it's not right for us to do them, the other persuasion, wrong just because they did our foreparents wrong, just because we see racism now. No, we don't judge a man by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character. Jesus said, use righteous judgment. So let's be different. Continue to speak life. Continue to speak life no matter what you're going through in life. Don't let what happened to you in the past cause you to go into a bad place, in a place of revenge, in a place of unforgiveness, in a place I don't want to deal with them. I'm retired from the railroad right now because a white man, an old white man, came to me and said, you a good worker. The railroad is hiring. They'll hire you. I'm going to tell you where to go, and they going to hire you. That man spoke life over this young black man. He didn't have to do it. I didn't ask him for it. And so that's what we got to do. Speak life, y'all. And stop judging people by the past. Stop holding grudges, resentment, unforgiveness. But let's speak life and watch yourself. You can get out of that depression. You can get out of that anxiety or whatever it may be if you just keep speaking life. All right. We just wanted to be with you just a few minutes. Anybody got any questions or anything? We're gonna get out of here and let you go on about the rest of your evening. These are the ways to defeat depression. Know who God is. Know that God forsakes no one. Don't turn from God because he ain't doing like you want him to do. Don't let what's happening in the world around you control you. Know your contract that we all go through suffering, but also part of that contract said he done made a way. And remember your victories as you go through life. He made a way then, he gonna make a way now. And know that you are royalty, chosen to give God the glory and continue to speak life no matter what you go through in life. Thank you to you all for being a part of this Bible class. Thank you to you all. I think we won't have Bible class next week. I think we are starting a revival out there at Love First Baptist Church in Hernando, Mississippi. We're going to be the revival next week, so we won't be having any Bible class and nothing on Friday because we'll be going into our family reunion next Friday. All right, Thursday. We'll be leaving out next Thursday for a family reunion. So, and next Friday, we'll be uh, hopefully enjoying ourselves with Cousin Shirley and everybody. Wednesday night, we have um, revival at Love First Baptist. So anybody in the area, come on out. Good evening, Sister Laurie. God bless you, my sister. Glad for you to stop by and be with us this evening. All right, y'all. Remember to trust the process and keep God first. No matter what you're going through in life, you can defeat. You can defeat that depression. Don't let it defeat you. You can defeat it. We can. We can defeat it. Thank you. Thank you to you all. Y'all have a blessed rest of your evening.